The Porsche 718 Boxster has been an icon in the mid-engine market for a couple of decades now, and that's for good reason. But today we're here to talk about the special one right here, that being the 718 Boxster Style Edition. Let's get right into it. The Porsche 718 Boxster Style Edition features a wider range of colors that pair really well with Porsche's iconic color palette. This one specifically is finished in shark blue and has the white accents throughout the car, but you can get this car in colors such as Ruby Star Neo, white, plenty of other bright and beautiful colors. But let's talk about some of the other features that make this one special. As you look at this car, you'll notice that there's a lot of white accents throughout this car that pair beautiful with the shark blue color. But those white accents can be seen on the hood of the car right here. You got that white racing stripe. You got the Porsche logo right here in white as well as the model designation in the back is finished in white. Now, one of my favorite features about this car that is different from the regular standard Boxster is that right here, you do get these 718 Spyder wheels that are finished in the high gloss white that contrast really well with the overall look and feel of this car. I think it's a great combination for this car. Now let's move on to the side of the car. We've already talked about the wheels and the striping on the side, but back here, it's very subtle, it's a little bit harder to see, but on the fabric top on this car, you will see that it is embossed Boxster right here, and that is both visible when the top is down as well as up. It's a subtle feature, it's a little bit different than the standard Boxster, but it's another key feature that looks really good and sporty on this car. And I forgot to mention before, but these are 20-inch wheels, so they sit a little bit bigger and they look real sporty for this car. Let's move on to the back. Back here, the rear end of this car is one of my favorite spots to look at on this car. That is specifically just because of how well Porsche has done with it. I love how they have the white model designation, as I stated before on this car with this package, but down here, you've got these stainless steel black tip exhausts, which these things sound amazing when you're in that high RPM range. Overall, the rear end of this car looks great, but let's move on to right here. I really like how these little roll bars over the seats are finished in the exterior color. It gives it that extra pop of color, which looks really great. Back here, since the Boxster is a mid-engine car, that means the engine sits behind the driver, but in front of the rear axles. And this car is outfitted with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, putting out 300 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, which is a great amount for such a small car. This thing is also super light, so this engine picks up speed real quick, and it's super fun to take around those curves, and honestly, just an overall fun driving experience. Now that I'm sitting inside the car, let's talk about some of the standard features you get with the Boxster Style Edition. First of all, if you go with the black leather package, you'll notice that this car is finished in black leather all throughout the car. But with that package, you also get the chalk deviated stitching that appears on the seats, the center console, and on the dash as well. Now, this car has been fitted with the exterior trim color fitted inside this car. So you do have the shark blue that continues throughout the interior of this car. So just to remind you guys, this car is all about contrast. That's what this package is all about. So you notice that there's contrast throughout everything on this car. But you still get the standard features that you get in a regular Boxster. You get that in here as well. You got the GT steering wheel, which looks really good. It feels really great inside your hands. It's got buttons and dials so you can control your gauge cluster as well as the infotainment screen. Now let's talk about the gauge cluster. I actually really like what Porsche's done with this. It's part analog, part digital. So the analog is for your speedometer and your RPM range, but your analog part will tell you all the information you need about your car as well as where your gas is at. And I think that's a really cool feature. And it's also got the white gauge cluster, which looks really well and pairs really well with the exterior white accents. In here, the infotainment screen, it looks really good. All these buttons are really well to press. You don't have any lag from, pressing these, and you don't have to wait a couple seconds. So Porsche's done a really good job with that. And when you turn the dials, you can definitely feel there's notches in it, which feel really good as well. One thing I love about the Boxster that you don't see too often, that you could still get this car in a manual. A lot of car companies are ditching the manuals, but Porsche's stuck with it, and I love that about this car. You get that raw feeling of driving this car on the road. Overall, Porsche's done a killer job with this package, and I really like the Boxster. I remember growing up, I didn't know too much about this car, but this car's really grown on me. It's quickly become one of my favorite Porsches out there. But let us know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.